Hello, it's Matthew from Matthew North Music here. Welcome to my latest video. If you enjoy these videos, please think about hitting the subscribe button because every subscriber really helps this channel to grow. And once we get past 1,000, then hopefully it will open up the channel for more people to see the sort of videos that I make on here. Anyhow, what is today's video about? Well, it's about this. This is the Line 6 pod. Now, this is one of the most, I'd say, controversial effects units that have been made in recent years. Controversial because people love these and people hate these in equal measure. And my only experience of these until I made this video was when my band All Living Fear went on tour in 2009. One of our guitarists, Nev, he had one of these and he absolutely swore by it. And he used this pedal with a keyboard amp and he had a little computer that plugged in the back so he could adjust his sounds and settings. And other than that, I'd never really heard one of these. But you go online, you meet anybody, and there's a real love-hate relationship with Line 6 gear. Now, personally, I've heard quite a few Line 6 amps, and I will say every single one I've heard has sounded absolutely terrible. Particularly, I heard one, I'm not going to mention the band, but let's say the lead guitarist should have had a Fender Twin for the style he was playing. It was like a sort of, African funky jazzy type band. And he's playing through a Line 6 and it just sounded abysmal. It was just awful. It was horrible. Anyway, I've got one of these and I've never used one. And I didn't even have a power supply for this one, but one came from eBay yesterday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into an amp. And we're going to look through some of the sounds in it, some of the presets. I'm then going to take another look at it by going direct into the computer and maybe use an acoustic guitar and then maybe a bit of electric guitar as well, just so we get a flavour of what this thing sounds like. And then I'll tell you what I think at the end. But I mean, you're the viewer, you can listen and judge for yourself as well. So I'm going to pop this here. I've got a camera here that will film the settings on there, which I'll stick up in the corner so you can see what the settings are. And yeah, let's have some fun with a Line 6 pod. Okay, the first bit of this demonstration is I've got the guitar plugged straight into the amp. So this is the pure clean tone of the guitar. So yeah, that's the guitar going straight in. Now I'm going to unplug the guitar. This is then going to go into the output of the pod. And I'm then going to plug guitar straight in. So I've now got pod clean set. All the EQ is pretty much in the middle. Everything's in the middle. And I've tried to get the level to be about the same as it was before. So yeah, it's about the same level, but if you listen, there's a little bit of distortion there. Not a lot, but a tiny bit. Now, this does have like this inbuilt drive control, which is turned to 0, but already there's a tiny bit of distortion. Now, if you're using this mostly for rock tones and distorted sounds, you're probably not going to be that bothered, but if I've got a clean sound, I want it to stay clean. So the first thing I'm going to look at is this amp modules section, and it's got a whole variety of different tones here, and I'm going to pick one at random. So we're going to pick Pod Crunch. Yeah, it kind of sounds a bit weak, a bit flimsy. Maybe if I stick some treble in. Yeah, it sounds like a really cheap practice amp, to be honest. Let's go to some of their things. Brit Class A. So this should be like an overdriven, Class A amp, like, I don't know, one of those little Marshall Class 5. Something. That's horrible. Let me just give it some top. Stick some drive in. Get it very bassy, very muddy. pretty horrible. I'm going to set the EQs in the middle. I think when you flick these settings around that it does reset the EQ, or it should do, but... So British Classic. That's not too horrible. Stick some more drive in. But you got no real sustain. Now if I was using a basic overdrive pedal, I could just do that and it would just ring on for as long as I like, even without a compressor. Let's Brit high gain. Listen to that. It's got a bit more sustain. Again, I've got the bass rolled off a bit on that. I'm going to stick some treble in. That's pretty gnarly and horrible. Knock some middle out. It's even worse. Now, if I go to here, we've got a reverb control. Now, this is a basic reverb that you can just bring in and out on any settings. So if I bring a little bit in, bit more. Stick on the high pickup. Again, it just sounds really cheap, to be honest. I'm going to go back to the cleans, to the pod clean now. Let's turn that drive down. Bring the levels up a little bit. Stick a bit more of that reverb in. I mean, that reverb's not horrible, it's not terrible. And Line 6 were, after all, well known for their reverbs and their delays. But I've certainly had a lot worse reverb pedals than the reverb on that. So it's got a compressor built in, so let's have a listen to the compressor without the reverb on. I think this effects tweak we bring in and that alters the level. Doesn't sound like he's doing much, to be honest. Oh, he is now. But you can really hear it's distorting as well. Whack some reverb on. It's not too bad, but it's not great either, has to be said. Okay, so the compressor's a bit rubbish and most of the overdrives are a bit rubbish. Let's go on to the tremolo. And you've also got this tap tempo function, so if I just do it really slowly, that's not too bad, and if I do it quickly, that's not bad actually. It's okay. Tremolo, I'll give the tremolo 5 out of 10. Chorus. Again, whenever there's an effect on, it does seem to, maybe it's because I've got the levels too high, but I'm only matching the levels to how my clean tone was. Even if if I turn my guitar down. Yeah, it's still a bit of distortion. It's going to chorus 2. It's got this tap tempo thing, so if I hit it really quickly, oh yeah. Yeah, I quite like that actually. That's quite a useful sound. If you want some sort of really gnarly, horrible psychedelic chorus, then. It's quite nice that when you whack it right up, it does have that sort of electro-harmonics kind of slightly out of tune thing going on. Right, we've got a flanger now. This is flanger 1. Again, still getting a lot of distortion with these effects. Not good. So that was flanger. Now it's rotary, so this must be some sort of Leslie effect. Well, I think that, to me, to my ears, that sounds much better than the choruses or the flangers. Well, that's quite nice. It actually does the... It slows down, so if I hit a chord, you hear it speed up. I like that. That's how Leslie effect should work. Yeah, that's good. That's a good effect. I like that. Right, now we're going to go on to what should be the best effect on this unit, is the delay. So if I make it nice and quick. So yeah, that's good. Let's get it nice and slow. Yeah, that's quite a respectable delay. Let's just do it a bit more. Let's see if we get it really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yep, that does the old Brian May thing quite well. So now we've got some mixes of effects. This is delay compressor. Yeah, I'll try delay in chorus. Whack a load more reverb on that. Yeah, it's okay. Delay and flanger. Ooh, that's not too bad. Again, will I get a good... Yeah, it's not too bad. There's this thing here, delay swell. As you expect, it just brings the level in and out. Yeah, that's quite a nice little effect. So anyway, let's get into bypass again. And we'll just tap in randomly at some of the presets in here. I'm not even going to look. Right, whatever this preset is, okay, it's 3C. That to me sums up everything about line 6. It's this horrible MIDI, horrible guitar sound. Yeah, it's not very good. Right, 5C. Yeah, I don't think they were the most creative of people when they came up with these presets. Now, I know you can hook this thing up to a computer and it's got every parameter and you can tweak to your heart's content, but I kind of think you want to hear what something sounds like out the box. And out the box, I'm not liking any of the overdrive and the distortion or anything. But I've got an idea, and I'll show you what the idea is right now. If I just go back to pod clean and bypass. If I get this is my Dennis the Menace overdrive pedal that I built. And this gets a lot of use actually. In fact, I've been using this pretty much every Wednesday when I do the blues shows with Russell Sinclair, and it sounds great. It's a great sounding pedal. I'm going to pop that in there, turn the reverb off. I mean, already the EQ on the pod is making it sound pretty horrible. I mean, already you can hear it's analog. It's got much more. So stick some of its reverb in. Now it is picking up a lot of hum, and I think that's mostly because being this is digital, it's got lots of processing and stuff, and when there's something like this, so if I turn it off you can't hear it, but this is definitely picking up a lot of noise from somewhere. I don't normally get that when it's going straight into the amp. Okay, so let's go to say one of the chorus sounds. It's okay, let's listen to a bit of delay. Only if I turn it up a bit, I seem to get more bottom end. See, I'm getting much more sustain just by having an analog pedal in front of me. So yeah, I think this pedal is pretty hopeless as an electric guitar pedal. It's got a couple of things going for it. I think the Leslie simulator's quite good. I think the delay is okay. The reverb's all right. And if I had an amp with me that had an effects loop on it, I would plug that into the effects loop and see how it sounds. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try two other things with this. The first thing is I'm going to see what it's like with acoustic guitar. Okay, so I've got my trusty old Yamaha APX 500. This is the acoustic guitar that I do nearly all my acoustic gigs with. I've had this since 2006. And apart from having to have the transducer replaced on the bridge, because the old one had a crack in it where it bends, the bit broke away and it was losing contact, and it was sort of stuck together with glue for ages, but I got a new one, and touch wood, apart from that, I've had nothing go wrong with this guitar. It's probably the most gigs guitar that I own, really. It's probably done more gigs than anything. Anyhow, so we've now got the pod set to bypass, and this time I've got the pod plugged straight into the computer because I'm not using it for electric guitar. So that's the clean tone. One thing I have noticed is there is a little bit of latency. It's not much, but there is a tiny bit of latency, and if you don't know what that is, it's a slight delay from what you play to what's coming out the speaker. And that's because what happens with this is your signal goes in, it's then turned from an analog signal to a digital signal. It goes through a whole load of processing, because this is basically a computer. And then it comes out the other end and gets turned back into an analog signal and pushed out. And that takes time. And we're only talking maybe, I don't know, 20 milliseconds, but it is noticeable, particularly when you use this on headphones. Right, so let's look at some of these effects then. So if I try maybe, let's say, the chorus. You know, it's not too bad. Let's stick some reverb in. Yeah, that's quite good actually. Stick another one on. Yeah. I don't know what the flanger will be like on an acoustic. I would never normally use a flanger on an acoustic anyway. Entirely reasonable. Again, it certainly sounds to me like... Yeah, and I think if I... Let's try delay and chorus. That's okay too. Let's just try the flanger. one thing I didn't try was the old Leslie. So I would say this works much better with an acoustic than an electric. But for the interest of science, I'm going to take the acoustic down. I'm going to grab my strap again. And this time I'm going to just play a couple of the sounds going straight into the computer rather than through an amp. Because these things were kind of designed for people not to use amps. They were designed to plug into the soundboards and the desk. Now that to me doesn't sound very nice at all. Let's try the chorus sound. So we're just getting all that horrible fizzy distortion over the top that sounds like it's being, you know, driven, and it's not. I mean, it was fine. It sounded... And I don't know what this switch on the back here does, but not a lot by the sound of it. I wonder if that's some sort of emulator, but nah. And just for fun, let's go with some overdrive. I can imagine this is what lots of 14-year-olds did in like 2003 or whenever this came out. Yeah, not very nice, is it? It's not very nice at all. Well then, here's the thing. I uploaded this video to my YouTube channel last night and I realised I'd made a mistake. I made two mistakes in the edit, so I pulled it down. But I then listened to the video on another pair of speakers, and my ending of the video I've now decided to change, because actually this thing isn't as bad as what I thought it sounded like at the time, and I'll explain. While listening to it back, the actual recording, it's not terrible. This thing is not awful. It's not great, it's not brilliant, but it's not completely terrible. Certainly, if you put an electric guitar through this, you can't put a guitar with hot pickups through it, it'll distort. If you use just its reverb and chorus and delay effects, then certainly with an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar with low output, possibly stick this through an effects loop, it won't do a bad job. If you see one of these for 50 quid, it might well be worth picking up. I wouldn't use this with its amp sims at all. That's the downside of it. Take away the amp sims, use this purely for reverb, delay, and the Leslie effect as well. You can have some great fun with this. And that's my conclusion. It's not bad. It's not brilliant. If you see one cheap, pick it up. You could have some fun with it. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.